Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Let's go ahead and see today's agenda. So today in files and directory management, we will start with FirstTime Essential. We know FirstTime is very important and very precious as well, right? So what you have to do when you are accessing the Linux system first time. Then we will see the directory management and of course the quizzes is throughout. Some of the quizzes which I have put over here and more quiz will be available also on the Instagram. So this is the overall agenda. We already learned how we can install, create virtual machines, all this in previous section, right? So I will refer time to time where is what you can find. So I hope you have already virtual machine created. Okay, if not, so make sure next time do it and don't just watch it like movie. So let's start with FirstTime Essential. So very first thing, I have installed a virtual box inside, and on top of that I install ubuntu 24. And when you turn it on your first time, when you see, so this is the default screen. Okay, this is the default wallpaper of the ubuntu. I actually already pinned this, but in your case if you don't see this, so this icon over here, if you see, when you just click on this and then one search text bar you will see, then you have to type terminal. Okay, so simply terminal is what we are actually using a terminal emulator, right? A terminal as a software. I will not go much more into the history, but still, like when we have old computers, then we used to say, okay, we are accessing a terminal or we are executing commands on the terminal. So since then, this terminology it has been using by many people. So you maybe heard CLI, terminal, console. Everybody is referring the same. So there is nothing right or wrong until and unless people are understanding. Okay. So, but my preference, I'll call it as a terminal. So that's completely fine. So very first time when you open the terminal, it looks like this. Okay. This is the default one. These are some shortcuts if you want to access it. So if your virtual machine is on Windows, so first you have to click on this. Here focus means you have to click on this, then press Control Option T to, it's a shortcut to open a terminal, and on Windows it's a Control Alt T. Okay, and most of the Genome is a kind of desktop environment nowadays. Ubuntu is also following the same. Okay, and in most of the Linux distributions, you follow the same shortcut or you get the same shortcuts in order to access the terminal. All right, so we have opened the terminal. So now the thing is, even though you have installed as a Ubuntu desktop, but still I would recommend and highly recommend to access your system remotely. Okay, so remotely it means on you just if you are on Windows, so just click on the Windows button and type terminal. It will one command prompt or CMD will be open. Okay, and after that you have to follow the command which I'm showing right now. Okay, and for me, so it's a terminal emulator item2 which I'm using. And when I show this, it means I have executed that command remotely. Okay, so remote, it doesn't mean your system should be some far away from you. Okay, remote, it means you are not accessing that machine directly. Okay, so that's the meaning of the remote. So let's go ahead and see. So very first thing what we have to do, SSH, and we already talked about SSH is one of the way by which we can access our system. Okay, so secure shell. Then you have to provide the username, whatever username you have provided at the time of operating system installation. After that, add the rate, and you have to provide your IP address of the machine. Okay, and SSH connect to host, IP address port 22, connection refused. So very first time if you are accessing, okay, this command is only showing you when you are accessing your Ubuntu desktop in your Mac or in your Windows. Okay, so you will get connection refuse error. So what we can do, we go back to our virtual machine. Okay, we will open the terminal, and on the terminal we will execute this command. Okay, so let's discuss them one by one what these commands are. So let me show something over here. All right, so very first command which I executed is this one, apt, okay, list dash dash installed, then grep dash I open SSH. So don't worry about this, just follow it along. We will discuss and we will go more deeper into when we talk about the package management. Okay, how we manage or install the software on this system. So this is a utility, okay, apt. It's a package manager of the Ubuntu. That's why we have executed this command. Then we wanted to list all the installed software, but out of this, those softwares, okay, or packages in Linux, we call this packages, okay, and we want to filter them based on the open SSH. So just we want to grab one thing, okay, and dash I, it means ignore the case of this, okay. Then what happened on this system? It says, okay, apt does not have a stable CLI, so use with the caution in script. So yes, we are fine with that. Then we got the output. It says open SSH dash client, okay, and this is the distribution which I'm using. In your case, it might be a different, okay, because I'm on the ARM system, and it says like this. So what happened actually? What it does mean? It means you could do SSH from this system because you have a client. So SSH is one of the utility, I would say, and by which you can access the remote server. So you have client, it means you can do SSH from this machine to any other machine, but you cannot access this machine. So most of the time, many people, they start with the Linux, so it's very confusing. They say, okay, oh, SSH is there, but I'm not able to access my server. Okay, so but don't worry, nowadays we have everything in cloud, but we have to also think about the cost. Okay, and we also want to explore more. That's why we are doing it on virtual machine, right? So we have client, we can access this, okay, from this system to another system. So but we cannot access this system for remotely. So what I have done after that, I said, okay, I want to install a utility, and for that I put apt search open ssh dash server. So guys, you might be wondering, I know the package name, that's why I have done like this. So nowadays it's very simple. You could go to your favorite AI, your favorite search engine, and type over there, you get the steps. But the thing is, when this internet is not available, then what you do? Okay. So, but it's very simple thing. It's very first thing you have to keep in mind, the server must be installed. Then it searched and it has given me open SSH server. This is the package or software I'm going to install. All right, so what command I have executed over here, apt install open SSH dash server. This much is enough. I don't need to type everything, okay, because automatically it knows where it has to fetch it. Then it gives me the error, are you root? Okay, so here the second point, when I executed apt command for list and search, it didn't ask me anything. Okay, but when I try to modify something on the system, and especially on something you are, or something, if you're installing something which is going to affect the entire system, okay, in that kind of thing you have to be a root. So for that we have a utility which is sudo is similar to, if you're coming from Windows background, so you know, run as an administrator. So just consider this it. When we talk about user management part, I will go more deeper into, and I will explain you how you can add any user or remove any user, and what kind of permissions you could provide. So for time being, consider very first time when you install Ubuntu, and the first user which you create, by default it a member of this one, okay, and it already can perform task as an administrator. So we have to add sudo apt install open SSH server. Then it asks for the password. Provided the password, that's fine. And after that, it went ahead and it asked, "Do you want to continue?" We said yes, we want to continue. And after that, the installation is done. Here, the important point, like we talked about before, the directory structure. So important thing /etc. So you could see creating config file. So I told you all the configuration files by default you can find it over here. There are utilities as well. We can perform the search. But if you are using Linux, if you are administrator, or if you are doing configuration or something like that, so you at least this is the expectation, you know, where you can find the configuration. This is not only the one thing, you could get the entire file name, okay, and also symbolic link. We are coming on this shortly. Symbolic link, in short, these are the shortcuts, okay, and it is also one thing, ssh.service, okay. After that, if you try to access, Okay, and you don't then come over here, and if you see apt list install grep, the same command again I executed. So before we had only client, but now we have OpenSSH server as well as SFTP server as well. Okay, and if you notice over here, automatic. So we install only OpenSSH server, right? But these packages also come along the way. So you could also use SCP secure if you want to send or download some file from the remote server. So these are the utility by which you could do. Okay, and here I check sudo systemctl status SSH. Okay, this is the name of the service and it says inactive. So what you have to do, sudo systemctl start SSH and you are done with. Then come back again on the your local terminal, okay, or terminal where you are trying to access. Then type again SSH, your username at the rate IP address, and actually I cancelled this operation. That's why I see you could see this many, but you will see. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, we want to continue, and this will there is a file in .ssh folder I will show you later where known hosts are there. So your entry will be made in this directory, and after providing the password you are in the machine. All right, do you have any questions on this so far? If you have any questions, please drop it over here. So after installation, what happened, this on this welcome screen here you could see the last login, okay, date and time, and even though from where it has accessed. Okay, and after that here this is we called a prompt. Okay, let me quickly also walk you through what does this mean. So here the very first thing is the username. Okay, when you log in on the server, so always pay attention whatever user is showing, it means this user has logged in, and where it has logged in, it has logged in on this machine, and this at the rate, it means this user has logged in on this machine. Okay, and here the tilde sign, it means it's a home directory, and in short it represents as a tilde sign. Okay, we will see this shortly. Then there is a colon just to separate your this string with your home directory, and this one is important point. Wherever you log in, you could see the dollar prompt, and this dollar prompt, it means this is a standard user, it is not a root user. Okay, but we perform some of the tasks using the sudo, right? So yes, you could, but you are not a root user. So root user has a different prompt. Okay, so these are some of the different prompt character you may find, and especially why these are important, because when you work with the container, you won't find if you find, like most of the time you will find the hash, it means you can perform the things as a root. Okay, or if you are logging on the server as a root, so you remember very quickly, okay, you have logged in as a root. Okay, or maybe you switch as a root. I will show you how we can do this shortly when we are switching to the terminal. Okay, so when you log in as a root, you may find this one, and in some of the like if you're accessing shell, something like this. Okay, so you may find percentage, and if it is incomplete, when you are typing something and you find this sign, it means it's an incomplete command. Your command is not complete, especially when you type something echo and some string and you forget to put close the comma, okay, double inverted comma, then you may find this one. All right, so let me first show you, okay, how does it work. Sorry. So all right, so here we go. Let me access my virtual machine. All right, so my virtual machine has a stop. Okay, and I also use something else as well. So let's go ahead and first see if you installed by default. So in that case, what happen? You need to click on the net, and if sorry, network, and in network, if you are on net, so you have to come on this part. Let me show you port forwarding. Okay, you have to click on this and you have to put some rules. So let's say SSH, and here the host port. Okay, so let me give something. So host port is 22. So by default, the default port for SSH is 22. In order to just show you, let me put something like this, and guest it means this machine. Okay, and here the actual port you have to put something like this. So in order to just show you, I'm putting this 222. Okay, so let's do something like this, and after that let me make it okay, and let's turn this on. So what my virtual machine has turned on over here. And how we can access this? So here, look at here, SSH-P, okay, and 2222, and username is 30 sockcube at the rate 127.0.0.1, okay, and just hit enter, then your password, and we are in. Okay, why I'm showing you this one? If you don't put a port something like this, okay, if I port make a changes in a port, okay, over here like 2022, let's do it something like this, and let me exit this one, try to, then now you say, see, it says connection refused. Okay, so in that case we just remove this one. Okay, so just if you have lots of virtual machines, so in that order or like this you can access and know whether you can access this, or I mean if port is available then you could do it, especially in when you are doing things in a net, like net. Okay, because all the machines get the same IP. So let me put it over here, make a zoom of it, and this one. Okay, let's make a little bit zoom. I think this much is enough. And I was talking about this part. Okay, so this user, all right, at the rate, and login on this. So how I can check? So there is a command host name. Okay, so it gives me the name of the machine, which is Ubuntu. If let me show you what happened, host name, okay, and ctl. So if I go something like help, so this is the command by which you can change. If you don't like host name, you can simply execute this command. It gives you the host name. Here is the format or syntax how you could use it. So very simple, host name, and it says host name get or set. So we want to set, so what we will do, host name ctl, and so let me go ahead, clear the screen, come over here, host name, CTL, and sorry, come on, host name. Okay. So for example, if I want to say Ubuntu server, sorry, too fast. All right. It asks me the password. Okay. We have provided the password. Okay. And if I want to check it, host name. Okay. So host name has changed, but this is not change. So what happened? Let me log in, clear the screen, and log in again and provide the password. So now you could see the server name or host name has changed. Okay. So why this is important and why I spend this much time on only on this, because whenever you are executing a command on the server, always remember where you are executing the command. Okay. So that's the reason I explained this. And this one is home directory. We are coming on this, how we can navigate and what we could do further. This is end of this section. So quiz time, we have a quiz over here. Okay, what does the prompt the sockcube at the ubuntu, and this indicates when you first log in to the terminal. So the first option, the current user, system name and directory, the list of available commands, the history of executed commands, the contents of home directory. So if you're watching, pause it and please feel free to drop your answer if you guess correct. So yes, the current user, system name, and the directory. Okay, this is the user, the current user, the system name or server name, okay, and the directory where you are in. So here, this is the home directory. If you found it helpful and easy to follow, please support the channel. The easiest way is to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one. Directory management is coming up.